The homeless boy's hands were shaking violently as he pressed down on the little girl's chest. Beneath his dirty palms, her ribs felt fragile, like bird bones. 1, 2, 3, 4. He counted in his head, a desperate rhythm keeping time with his own racing heart. He was terrified, not just because the little girl, Lily, was turning a terrifying shade of blue, but because of what was charging toward him. 50 yards away, 30 yards, 10 yards. A man. A giant. Jax, 6'4", wearing a leather cut with the Iron Spartans patch on the back. His face was twisted into a mask of pure, unadulterated rage. Jax. "Get away from her! I said get your hands off her!" Leo, the 10-year-old boy, heard the scream. He saw the shadow of the biker looming over him, blocking out the sun. He knew what was coming. He knew that in about 2 seconds, this man was going to hurt him, maybe kill him. The instinct to run screamed in his legs. Run, flee, hide. But Leo looked down at Lily. Her eyes were rolled back. She wasn't breathing. If he stopped now, she died. It was that simple. So Leo didn't run. He locked his elbows. He gritted his teeth. And he pushed harder. 28, 29, 30. Jax reached him. A massive hand, callous and heavy, clamped onto the back of Leo's oversized shirt. The grip was iron. Jax yanked him back, ready to throw this attacker across the street. Jax. "You filthy!" The sound cut through the rage like a knife. Lily's chest heaved. Her eyes fluttered open, unfocused and scared. A small, miraculous cough escaped her lips. Jax froze. His fist was still raised, his other hand still gripping Leo's collar. He looked down. He saw his daughter's color returning. He saw the life flooding back into her face. Then, slowly, he looked at the boy he was about to crush. Leo was trembling, tears streaking through the dirt on his face, hands held up in surrender, waiting for the blow. Leo. She wasn't breathing. I wanted her to breathe. Jax's hand loosened. The monster in his eyes faded, replaced by a dawning, horrifying realization. He hadn't just attacked a homeless kid. He had almost assaulted the angel who just saved his daughter's life. But what neither of them knew in that moment, as the sirens wailed in the distance, was that saving Lily's life was the easy part. The real fight, the fight for Leo's soul against a system designed to crush him, was just beginning. Oak Creek was the kind of American suburb where bad things weren't supposed to happen. It was a place of white picket fences, manicured lawns, and neighbors who waved but didn't really know each other. The sunlight here seemed golden, like honey poured over the streets. But every light casts a shadow, and in the shadow of Oak Creek lived Leo. Leo was a ghost. He was 10 years old, but his eyes held the weary exhaustion of a 70-year-old man. He wore sneakers that didn't match, one Nike, one Converse, both 3 sizes too big, held together with duct tape. His jacket was a donated winter coat he wore even in the summer because he had nowhere to store it. He lived in the narrow alley behind the strip mall on 4th Street. His bed was a flattened refrigerator box. His pillow was his backpack, which contained his entire life, a half-eaten bag of chips, a flashlight with dying batteries, and a wrinkled photo of his mother. 2 years ago, Leo wasn't a ghost. He was a son. His mother, Maria, worked double shifts at a diner to keep a roof over their heads. She used to call him, "my little lion." But poverty is a silent killer. It means missed doctor appointments. It means ignoring chest pains because you can't afford the copay. One night, Maria collapsed in their kitchen. 8-year-old Leo had stood there, screaming for her to wake up, shaking her, crying. He felt helpless, useless. By the time the paramedics arrived, it was too late. Standing in that ER waiting room, listening to the flatline tone of a heart monitor, Leo made a vow, a promise to a universe that had taken everything from him. I will never be helpless again. That's why, on Tuesday nights, Leo didn't sleep. He snuck into the back of the 4th Street shelter during their community outreach programs. He sat in the darkest corner, watching the CPR training meant for adults. While the adults dozed off or checked their phones, Leo memorized every move. Check the airway, tilt the head, interlace fingers, push hard, push fast. He practiced on his backpack in the alley. He practiced until his arms burned. He practiced until the rhythm was part of his heartbeat. He didn't know he was training for a Tuesday afternoon in October. Lily, Jax's daughter, was the princess of Oak Creek. Her bicycle was metallic pink with white streamers. She rode it with the fearless confidence of a child who had a father like Jax watching her back. Jax was the vice president of the Iron Spartans Motorcycle Club. To the neighbors, he was trouble. To Lily, he was just, Daddy. She was riding past the alley. She rang her bell. Ding, ding. Leo watched her from the shadows. He always watched. It was safe to watch. Then he saw it. The wobble. It wasn't a playful swerve. It was a spasm. Lily's hands flew to her chest. Her small face contorted in confusion, then pain. The bike tipped. Crash. The silence that followed was heavy. No crying, no movement. Leo stepped out of the shadows. He saw the stillness of her chest. The invisible boy had a choice. Stay hidden, stay safe, stay ghost, or step into the light and risk everything. He ran. The emergency room at Oak Creek General was quiet, except for the heavy boots of a biker pacing the floor. The doctor came out, looking exhausted. Mr. Teller? Jax stopped. Is she... Doctor. She's stable. It was a sudden cardiac arrest, likely a congenital defect we missed. But Mr. Teller, the oxygen deprivation. Jax. Tell me. Doctor. There is no brain damage. She's going to make a full recovery. And I have to tell you, whoever started CPR on that sidewalk, they saved her life. If they had waited even 60 seconds for the ambulance, Lily wouldn't be here. The words hit Jax like a physical blow. Whoever started CPR. Jax sat down hard on the plastic chair, putting his head in his hands. He remembered the rage. He remembered grabbing the boy's collar. He remembered the fear in the kid's eyes. He had charged at his daughter's savior like a madman. Jax, whispering, I almost hurt him. I almost hurt the boy who saved her. The next morning the hunt began. But not a hunt for vengeance, a hunt for redemption. Jax returned to the spot. The pink chalk marks from the police report were still on the sidewalk. He walked into the corner store. The bell chimed. Mrs. Gable, the owner, looked up. She saw the Iron Spartans vest and stiffened. Jax. I'm looking for a boy, about 10, skinny, dirty clothes, oversized sneakers. Mrs. Gable, coldly. I don't know any boy like that. We have a strict no loitering policy. If he was here, I would have called the police. It was the same everywhere. The bakery, the gas station, the neighbors. I saw him digging in my trash. I chased him off. That little vagrant? I hope he's gone. Nobody knew his name. Nobody cared where he slept. To the people of Oak Creek, Leo wasn't a hero. He was a nuisance, a stain on their perfect scenery. Jax felt a different kind of rage building, not at the boy, but at the town. A town that would let a 10-year-old eat from garbage cans while they watered their manicured lawns. It took 3 days. It was a tip from a sympathetic nurse at the shelter that led Jax to the old water tower at the edge of town. He goes there to read, she had said. It's the only place people don't throw rocks at him. Leo was tired. He hadn't eaten a real meal in 2 days. He was sitting in the dirt, trying to distract himself with an old Spider-Man comic he found in a dumpster. Spider-Man was a hero. Spider-Man saved people and everyone loved him. Leo had saved someone, and he was terrified the man was still coming to kill him. Then, the ground started to shake. At first, Leo thought it was a train, but there were no tracks here. The low rumble grew into a roar, a mechanical symphony of American muscle. Leo stood up, his back pressing against the chain-link fence. Around the corner came the first bike, black chrome, high handlebars, then another and another, the Iron Spartans. They didn't come with baseball bats. They came with presents, 30 bikers, leather vests, tattoos, beards, the kind of men society crossed the street to avoid. They circled the lot and cut their engines in unison. The silence that followed was heavier than the noise. Jax stepped off the lead bike. He looked giant. He walked toward Leo, his boots crunching on the gravel. Leo squeezed his eyes shut. This is it, he thought. This is where it ends. Jax. Hey. The voice wasn't angry. It was broken. Leo opened one eye. Jax wasn't raising a fist. He was kneeling. The vice president of the Iron Spartans was on his knees in the dirt, trying to get to eye level with a homeless child. Jax. My name is Jax. You met my daughter, Lily. Leo, trembling. Is she okay? I didn't mean to hurt her ribs. I know you're supposed to push hard, but... Jax. She's alive, kid. She's eating ice cream and asking for the boy who woke her up. Tears welled up in Jax's eyes. He reached into his saddlebag and pulled out a paper bag. I brought you something. It's not much, but it's a start. Leo took the bag. Inside was a sandwich, a real turkey sandwich from the deli, with cheese and lettuce and everything, and an apple, and a bottle of juice. Leo looked at the food, then at Jax. Leo. Why? Jax. Because you did something brave. You stood your ground when a monster, me, was coming at you. You didn't run. Jax turned to the other bikers. Boys, meet Leo. 30 scary-looking men nodded in respect. One of them, a guy named Tiny, who was the size of a vending machine, stepped forward and placed a brand-new bicycle, blue and silver, next to Leo. Ride safe, little man, Tiny grunted. Jax. You don't belong in the dirt, Leo, not anymore. Jax held out a hand that could break jaws, now offered in an open invitation. Come home, just for a meal, just to see she's okay. Leo looked at the hand. He looked at the empty alley. He looked at the comic book hero. He took the hand. For 3 months, the impossible happened. Leo had a room, a bed with Superman sheets. He gained weight. The dark circles under his eyes vanished. He discovered he loved mechanics. He spent hours in the garage with Jax, learning the difference between a wrench and a ratchet. The Iron Spartans became his uncles. They checked his homework. They taught him how to throw a baseball. They protected him. But in America, happiness without paperwork is illegal. Agent Sarah Miller from Child Protective Services, CPS, didn't see a family. She saw a rap sheet. She saw a motorcycle gang harboring a minor. She knocked on the door with the authority of the state behind her. Sarah. Mr. Teller, we received a report. Unlicensed fostering. A minor living in a high-risk environment. Jax. He's not at risk. He's happy. Sarah. Happiness isn't the metric. Safety is. You have a criminal record, Mr. Teller. Assault in 2015. Disturbance of peace. This environment, she waved a hand at the bikes in the driveway, is entirely unsuitable for a vulnerable child. Sarah wasn't a villain. She was a woman who had seen too many children hurt by negligent adults. She followed the rules because the rules were written in blood, and the rules said, bikers are bad. Foster care is safe. Sarah. Pack his things. He comes with me now. The hearing is on Monday. The separation was brutal. Leo didn't scream. He didn't fight. He just went quiet. The old, ghostly quiet. He walked to Sarah's car carrying his backpack. The same backpack. He looked back at Jax, who was being held back by two of his brothers, tears streaming down his face. Leo. It's okay, Jax. Thank you for the vacation. Jax. It's not a vacation. I'm coming for you, Leo. I promise. Iron Spartans promise. Leo got in the car. He knew promises. Adults made them all the time. They rarely kept them. Monday morning. Courtroom 4. The air was thick enough to choke on. On the left side, the state prosecutor. Smug. Confident. Holding a stack of files detailing every bar fight the Iron Spartans had ever been in. On the right side, Jax, wearing a suit that was too tight across the shoulders. He looked uncomfortable, but determined. Behind him, the entire Iron Spartans chapter. 20 men, silent, hands folded, filling the gallery like a dark storm cloud. Prosecutor. Your Honor, this is open and shut. Mr. Teller is a violent offender. He belongs to a known outlaw organization. Placing a traumatized child in this den of wolves is negligent at best and dangerous at worst. Judge Carter. Mr. Teller, do you have anything to say? Jax, standing up, voice shaking. I know I ain't a saint, Your Honor. I've done bad things. But Leo, that boy saved my daughter. He lived in an alley for 2 years, and nobody in this town gave a damn. I didn't just give him a room. I gave him a father. You can put me in jail if you want, but don't punish him for my mistakes. The judge looked conflicted, but the law was the law. The court must prioritize the safety of the child based on established standards, the judge began. He turned to Sarah Miller. Agent Miller, you conducted the observation and the removal. Please give your final recommendation. Sarah Miller had written her recommendation 3 days ago. Permanent removal. But she remembered the car ride. She remembered Leo asking not about toys or TV, but asking if Jax was okay. Asking if Lily was remembering to take her heart medicine. She remembered seeing the high-risk biker gang waiting outside the courthouse since 6 a.m. just to show support. Sarah took a breath. She looked at the prosecutor. She looked at Jax. Sarah. Your Honor, the state recommends... She paused. The room held its breath. Sarah. The state recommends that the petition for removal be dismissed immediately. Prosecutor. Objection. Agent Miller, what are you doing? Sarah, voice rising, firm. I am doing my job. My job is to find a home for this child. A home isn't just a clean record and a white picket fence. A home is where a child is loved. She picked up a piece of paper, a drawing Leo had made in foster care. It showed a small stick figure boy holding hands with a giant stick figure man on a motorcycle. I spent the weekend reviewing the case. Leo didn't lose weight at Mr. Teller's house. He gained it. His grades didn't drop. They improved. For the first time in 2 years, this boy isn't just surviving. He is living. She looked directly at the judge. If we take him away, we aren't protecting him. We are breaking him. The Iron Spartans might be unconventional, Your Honor, but they are the only family this boy has. You could hear a pin drop. The prosecutor slumped in his chair. Jax looked at Sarah as if she was an angel sent from heaven. Judge Carter, smiling, tapping his gavel. It is rare in this courtroom that we get to see what actual justice looks like. Petition for removal denied. Temporary guardianship is granted to Mr. Teller, effective immediately. The doors of the courthouse burst open. Leo ran. He ran faster than he had ever run in his life. He didn't run away. He ran toward. Jax caught him midair. lifting the boy high above his head, tears streaming into his beard. Leo, you kept your promise. You came back. Jax, I told you, kid. Spartans don't leave men behind. Sarah Miller walked out a moment later. She adjusted her glasses, trying to look professional. Jax put Leo down and walked over to her, the scary biker and the strict social worker. Jax extended a hand. Thank you. Sarah, shaking it. I'll be checking in every month, Mr. Teller. Don't make me regret this. I won't, Jax grinned. You're welcome for dinner any time. Tiny makes a mean lasagna. They rode home through the streets of Oak Creek. The neighbors who had ignored Leo, who had chased him away, now watched from their porches. They saw the motorcycle gang, but they didn't see criminals anymore. They saw a father, a daughter, and a son. Leo looked at the back of Jax's vest. The Iron Spartans patch. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the patch Jax had given him. Family first. They say heroes wear capes, but sometimes they wear secondhand sneakers. Sometimes they wear leather vests. And sometimes the biggest hero is the one who simply decides to stop looking the other way. Because family isn't about whose blood runs in your veins. It's about who would bleed for you. Leo and Jax proved that prejudice is the enemy of love. If this story touched your heart, please hit the subscribe button. It helps us share more stories about the unsung heroes walking among us. What would you do if you were in Jax's shoes? Let us know in the comments below. See you in the next story.